So today, for the fourth Sunday of Easter, our Lord presents us with a familiar image of who he is. Jesus is the Good Shepherd, the one who takes special care of the flock. Now, I'm sure everyone in this church, from young to old, have heard of Jesus being referenced as the Good Shepherd. We often will have images in our mind of Jesus holding tenderly a little lamb, or holding a sort of walking stick, leading a flock of sheep into green pastures. Yes, all these images are embedded in our consciousness, and they evoke emotions of peace, safety, and leadership. They are all blessed and loving thoughts of our Lord. But how accurate are they, and what would a real-life shepherd during biblical times look like? Allow me to walk you through, if you will, a job interview process for those who would be interested in being a shepherd in antiquity. Then I'll present what skill sets it takes to be considered a good shepherd, like the Lord in our Christian lives. Let's start with the interview, shall we? First, as an employer, I am looking for a male candidate, and this would be the youngest male in the family. So no old people like myself would be accepted, because people my age would be busy planting and harvesting crops with our Father. I would also ask if you learned about shepherding from your older brothers in your family, and not from some fancy shepherding school. The best shepherds are homeschooled. So let me clarify. By the way, I have no problem with the ladies wanting to be shepherds, for they make excellent leaders, and we all know this. But this is antiquity, everyone. Currently, the ladies are busy raising children and providing for the household at this time. Next, I would see how you were dressed. For any serious candidate would come dressed in a simple cotton tunic that's held together by a leather outer garment of camel's hair. So please do not come dressed in a suit or tie, because I will have to show you the door. Besides, you will get your clothes very dirty on the very first day. I would also look for your rod and your staff that you hopefully walked in with, for they are needed to fend off all the wolves and help gather your flock if they should get out of hand. Now that you've met my qualifications, I would like to move forward with some intense questioning on your skill set. Hopefully you will have prepared these answers with your job coach and should know what to say. So tell me all your skills in finding food and water for the flocks you have shepherded. Let me know where the green pastures are in your geographic location, and what you'll do when floods and dry spells spoil the soil all around you. I'm expecting that you'll be familiar with various weather patterns and climates. You'll also want to be a master of grains and other edibles that will grow under these conditions. And I bet you didn't know this, but as far as water is concerned, you better know that sheep are scared of fast-moving water. And so you better tell me where to find all the still water in the area. Now that I have your attention, and hopefully you're not quivering under the desk, I will want to know if you're strong and handy. You will need to build fences. You will need to have to chop wood. You will have to drive stakes in the ground. Yes, you probably didn't know this, but you must have carpentry skills as well. You will be obviously aware of your need to protect your flock, for you will already have faced many perils over your long and arduous journeys. What are the perils? Wolf attacks, crazy robbers, and other vicious animals you will have battled with. So in other words, you must be strong, tough, and ready to put your life on the line for this job. So, okay, congratulations, the interview is over, and I like how you interviewed. I'm offering you the job. St. Norbert's, are you willing to work for my sheep herding company? Are you ready to say, I am the good shepherd, and I will lay down my life for my sheep. So Jesus tells us that he is ready. In today's gospel reading, and these are serious words to ponder in our hearts. Friends, now that we've had a little bit of fun during the interview process, it's time we examine the theological qualifications to become a Christian shepherd. First, we need to decide whether we lay our lives down for ourselves and the world we live in, or what I want to hear is, are we prepared to lay our lives down for God's kingdom? This is the real question we need to discern before we go any further. Why is this? Because we cannot serve two masters. We either go all in and live a life that shuns the wiles of the devil and all his works, to stand firmly with God to protect our precious flock, or we give in to this illusionary facade, one that promises vanity, lust, and power. In laying down the lives for our lives for God's kingdom, we must be willing to bear the hardships of this world, such as persecution and suffering. It is about making a stand for God's kingdom, but we also need to strengthen our connection to our loving and faithful God. Jesus talks to us about the intimate relationship he has with the Father in this particular gospel. God knows us in a way that no other person knows us. He knows us before we were fashioned in the womb. He knows the number of hairs on our head. He also knows every single action we're going to take, both the good ones and the not so good. So before we can become good shepherds, everyone, we must have a strong prayer life with our Lord and the church's saints. This is the foundational job qualification we need to help us get this shepherding job. Finally, I think we can ace the job interview and climb the corporate ladder even further if we further develop a Christly disposition in our hearts. To do this, I recommend that we know what Christ is asking of us in this job description. Here's what he's asking: to be poor in spirit, to thirst for righteousness, to be meek, to weep, to be persecuted, to be merciful, to be peacemakers, and lastly, to be pure in heart. Does all this sound familiar? It should, for this is Jesus telling us who will be looked after and glorified in his kingdom. These are the Beatitudes that Jesus wants all of us to possess, so that we might hasten the kingdom to arrive in our midst. Does it sound easy? Do you still want the job? I hope so. So to recap our qualifications on what it takes to be a professional and well-regarded shepherd of Christ's flock, we need the following. 1, to lay down our lives for the kingdom and choosing God's ways over the world's. 2, to develop an intimate relationship with our Lord in prayer and in the sacraments, so that we are strengthened against that which assails us. And 3, model our hearts and dispositions to that of Christ, so that we can be leaders of heavenly wisdom and virtue. This will all make us, everyone, great good shepherds of our Lord.